Something most people don't think about is their last drive in a car. At least younger people or middle-aged people. It's just something that doesn't occur to them. It's not like your car suddenly starts talking and says, "Well, that's it, pal. You're done." It kind of sneaks up on you, like the night glare that blinds you, or maybe the missed stop sign, or the moment someone honks and you don't know why. Hi, I'm Hal, if you haven't been here before. Let's talk about being done with driving. Before I get into this, I have to tell you I happened to see a pamphlet, and that's where I got this idea, and some of the suggestions about how to deal with this came from that, and that's why I decided to give my take on what's real about this. I've talked to plenty of folks who said the same thing. I knew I wasn't as good as I used to be, as sharp behind the wheel, but I thought I was still good enough to drive a car. But stopping isn't just about giving up a car. It's about what that car represents. Freedom, privacy, and control. And for some people, it's just plain fun. Some folks just enjoy driving. But if you wait for a crash to make that decision for you, that freedom's gone forever. So let's talk about how to decide before that happens. First, listen to what I call the signals. Look for patterns, not accidents. For example, do you look away from the road and find you've drifted even a little to another lane, or maybe a lot, or off the road a little? Or you're getting lost on familiar roads. Maybe you've been to a place several times, but it's been 6 months or a year, and a year's passed, and it's later, and you just can't remember exactly where it is. And maybe you're nervous making left turns. I know I am. You have to cross traffic, and you usually need to be sure nothing is coming before you make the turn. You have to look both ways several times. One thing I really hate is intersections that are not perpendicular. They are at some weird angle, and you have to crane your neck to see if there's traffic coming. Well, my neck doesn't turn as easily as it used to, and I have a problem with that. One thing I try to do is pull up to an intersection so I can see both ways, even if the streets aren't squared off with each other. Things that blend into the road, like motorcycles and gray or dark cars or red cars with no headlights or running lights. I try to do a double take when crossing in an intersection, but the older I get, the more I don't like crossing intersections. Maybe you feel drained after a drive. When you think about all the things that can go wrong, of course you feel tired after driving. It ain't fun anymore for some of us, or at least not as much fun as it used to be. Maybe, like me, you avoid the freeway because it's just too damn fast anymore. Actually, it is, in fact, too fast at any age anymore. If I drive the speed limit, say 70 miles an hour, or I go maybe 75, people pass me doing at least 100. Things have changed a lot in the last few years. I know. I've changed a lot too, but where I live, the roads are not patrolled like they used to be. During the pandemic, people started driving faster because there was not many cars on the road, and they weren't patrolled nearly as much. Lots of things have changed since that time, and driving faster is just one of those things that people kept right on doing. Okay, you've had a couple of near misses lately that you can't explain. You haven't had tickets or crashes, just those little moments where you think, how the hell did that happen? Medication side effects are messing with you more than you want to admit. Things like drowsiness, slowed thinking, blurred vision, It doesn't matter if it's mild. Mild becomes severe at 45 miles an hour or over. Here's one. People close to you are nervous when you drive, even if they don't say it out loud or make it clear. But if you notice white-knuckle silence or someone offering to drive a lot, don't ignore what they're saying or what they're doing. Just maybe they see something you don't. Are you worried about the one incident ruining your financial life? One at-fault crash can mean lawsuits, insurance, cancellation, massive premiums on your insurance, or losing coverage, especially if someone is injured. A woman I knew, she was 82 years old, independent as hell, said she used to test herself every 6 months. She drove a known route, timed her reaction to yellow lights, and kept track of how she felt afterwards. And one day she said this to her daughter, "This is making me sweat too much." She handed her keys to her daughter that Sunday. Nobody forced her. She just did it. Now here's the thing. Use professional eyes. There are driving assessment programs through AAA and ARP and local rehab hospitals. They put you through a safe road test with an instructor who's not a cop and not family, just an evaluator. They'll tell you the straight dope, whether you're good, borderline, or done. Best part, you get a written report, not guesswork. And that report can save you from family fights, too. It's not you against your kids or your terrified wife. It's the tester that says it's time. Now, you may be tempted to smite the tester. Don't do that. That means jail time, and that will definitely cause a loss of freedom. Plan before you quit. The mistake people make is waiting until they have to stop driving, and then they feel trapped. But if you plan early, you don't lose all independence. Okay, that's not exactly true. You do lose independence, but that's a trade-off for not getting killed or killing someone else. So you have to trade how you move around. Does it suck? Yep. But quite a few things about being old are crappy, and there's not a lot we can do about it. Giving up driving is not an easy thing to do when you're old, but still an independent sort who's been in charge of your own life for decades. I don't think or talk about things like this with positive poster card cliches and feel good, feel better sayings. We have to be real about this and many other things that we don't like about being old. And not everything is bad about being old, but let's face it, this is one of the bad decisions or unlikable decisions we have to make. And no, it doesn't do anyone any good to dwell on what we can't do. But I believe we need to strike a balance between the things we don't like and realistic thinking, and start to think about alternatives. Okay, after all, assuring you can still think clearly, maybe not as well as you could a few years ago, you can still make decisions that affect your well-being and that of others. Here's some things you can do. Start testing rides now. Call a local senior center transport service. Use Uber or Lyft once in a while, or talk to neighbors about errands. A lot of communities have shuttles that take you to the grocery or a doctor's office for pocket change. Some churches even have volunteer driver rosters. It's not charity, it's community. Wait, actually it is charity. But sooner or later, we all need a little help from our friends. I could say many people find that they actually like being a passenger. No stress, no traffic rage, no hunting for parking. You just bring your coffee and sit back and enjoy the serenity again. Yeah, I could say that, but We all know it still sucks. Nevertheless, we need to do the right thing. Keep some freedom alive when you quit driving. The worst part is isolation. So don't let the car be the only link to your world. Make a list of everything you used to use your car for, like grocery runs, social visits, lunch with old friends, and then find new routes and ways to do these things and ways to get to the same destinations, like ride shares or walking buddies, delivery plans, or just skip it list for the unnecessary errands that maybe wore you out anyway. Also, let people help. You spent decades being the one who gave rides. It's their turn now. That's not weakness. That's a fair trade after a lifetime of being there for others. The truth is, freedom doesn't live in a car. Okay, well, some of it does. I just said something to that effect earlier. Freedom is being able to move and connect and live without pretending. I read this from a pamphlet I saw some time back. So if giving up the keys someday feels like losing your independence, remember this. It's not the end of the road. It's just a new map, and you still get to choose the route. Well, damn. That's a crock if I ever heard one. Does that sound like something you would say to a child? It does to me. But that was on the pamphlet. The bottom line is you got to do what you got to do. So the next time you hear someone say, age is just a number, ask them if they have ever given thought to giving up their driver's license, or any number of other things you may have to give up when you get old. Well, that's my rant on that subject for today, but seriously, don't let pride or stubbornness stand in the way of doing what has to be done. I hope this helps someone who may be struggling with this. If you got anything out of it or have something you'd like to add, leave a comment that may help someone else. And like and subscribe to my channel. I appreciate that. See you on the flip side.